In science, we have to all be speaking the same language. And the language that we use is what's called SI units, which in practice means metric. It's very important to learn how to convert from one metric unit into another metric unit. Now remember, metric units consist of two parts, a prefix and a base unit. The prefixes are the same no matter what the base unit is. So all you have to memorize are prefixes. So if you memorize the prefixes, it doesn't matter what the base unit is. The prefixes will always work the same. Base units are things like meter, liter, gram, ampere, seconds. That tells you the type of thing you're measuring, the quantity. Are you measuring volume? Are you measuring mass? Are you measuring time? All those things are what the base unit tells you. The prefix tells you how big is this thing you're measuring. When it comes to prefixes, it's important to remember which are the big prefixes and which are the small prefixes. Things like mega and kilo, those things are big. If I'm talking about a megameter or a kilosecond, I have something that's bigger than the base unit. If you think about a kilometer is bigger than a meter. On the other end, if I have something small like deci, centi, or milli, those things are smaller than the base unit. If you think about what a centimeter is or a millimeter is, that's smaller than a meter. So always remember which are the big ones and which are the small ones. And yes, you do have to memorize these. It will give you a complete list of the prefixes you have to memorize in class. When it comes to metric conversion, dimensional analysis is the best way to go. But remember, in dimensional analysis, the conversion factor has to equal 1. So let's say you're going from 3.39 centimeters to how many kilometers? As usual with a word problem, it's worth it to take a minute and think about this. 3.39 centimeters is a teeny tiny thing. Kilometer is a really big unit. When I get an answer here, it's better be a really tiny answer. I'm going to need a teeny tiny fraction of a kilometer to be 3.39 centimeters. So that gives me a hint as to the way I'm going. Now if this is dimensional analysis, here's my given. When you're doing metric conversions, never try to go straight from something with a prefix to something else with a prefix. Always go through the base unit. In this case, the base unit is meter. I don't know off the top of my head how many centimeters are in a kilometer, but I do know how many centimeters are in a meter because I memorized that. Centi means 100. Centi, I remember, is the small thing. So I need a lot of the small thing to get up to the big thing. The base unit is bigger. So that must mean there's 100 or 10 squared centimeters in 1 meter. Not 100 meters in 1 centimeter, but 100 centimeters in a meter, because the big number always has to go next to the smaller unit. Centimeters have canceled. That's good. Now I've got meters, but I don't want meters. I want kilometers. So meter down here, kilometer up here. Now again, kilometer bigger. So there are 1,000 or 10 to the third meters in 1 kilometer. A kilometer is bigger than a meter. So there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So it's 3.39 centimeters divided by 100 divided by 1,000, which comes out to be 3.39 times 10 to the negative 5th kilometers. And sure enough, that's a tiny number. 10 to the negative 5th means 0.0000339, which is exactly what we figured at the beginning. So we know we've done it right.